What's up, my fit fam, and welcome back to Johannesburg, South Africa. Another iteration of the Sister Saturdays. We talk to the most beautiful, lovely sisters around the world, the diaspora, and let's see what these ladies got to say. Can I get your name, your age, and your relationship status?
I'm Sandra.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 28, and I'm very single.
But you're in that wedding white, though. All right. What about you? Name, age, your status?
Hi, my name is Zaina, but you can call me Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
I am 30 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I am in a relationship, newly in a relationship.
Interesting. Okay. What about you?
Hi guys, my name is Anam. I'm 25 and I am very much single.
Very much single? Okay.
I'm the only one in the relationship.
All right. Okay. You. So do you plan to be married?
Of course.
Eventually?
One day, yes, eventually.
Eventually?
When the time is right, when
What time?
I'm financially stable.
Whoa. You need to be financially stable?
Yeah, because, okay, I don't want to be in a relationship where I can't afford to live, because I want to live by myself first and then get a guy that can live by himself and live for the both of us.
Okay. I need you to explain to me why that makes sense.
Because I said it. That's
Well,
why, to me, it does make sense.
How do you feel about the Bible? Do you believe?
I'm not Christian, by the way. I'm just spiritual.
No, let me finish the question, right? Because that's not where I was going to go. Do you believe that the Bible has some wisdom? Is not that it's factual or it's literal, but do you at least think that it might have some wisdom in it?
To people that read it, I wouldn't relate because I don't read the Bible. I have no idea what's going on there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So in the Bible, and obviously I'm paraphrasing. I'm not a Bible enthusiast or expert, but I do believe that it is the word, is the truth. I believe that full-heartedly, right? How it describes that process is a woman leaving her parents' home, joining with a man and becoming one flesh. So there was never no transitional period where she was strong, independent, living on her own and paying her own rent or mortgage. That phase did not exist.
Yes.
There's also a story, and I'll butcher it if I try to quote it, but there's a story about a war general, and he's waging war on a particular capital, and it's across an ocean. And when he gets there, he's outnumbered, but he decides to burn the ships so that the troops can't retreat, because he already hears murmurs of, people saying, hey, we should probably abandon this mission and go back. So he burned all the boats so that was no longer an option. They ended up taking that.
Okay.
So hold on. I say that story as to say, when women feel that they cannot enter a relationship with a man and depend on him, that first they need to establish some type of independence to quote unquote protect themselves should it not work. There is also this subconscious illusion of options now, because it's like, well, I got my own money saved. Well, I do got my own property that I have rented out, so I can leave it anytime. That kind of encourages you not to be a problem solver, not to focus on conflict resolution, not to keep those vows, because divorce is an option. Whereas if you entered that solely coming from your parents' home, or just at least being dependent on that man, allowing yourself to trust him to the extent that you are depending on him, which is a responsibility that men take on, especially when it's made clear that, nigga, I'm depending on you. I'm not strong and independent. I don't got my own stuff. No, I can't buy it for myself. When that's not the rhetoric that he's being given, he does full-heartedly understand, I am responsible for this woman. Without me, she will not have. I cannot leave her destitute.
Okay.
So now there's an incentive on both sides for conflict resolution. Yeah. But if you know this woman got somewhere to go, it's like, hey, listen, you know what? I'm tired of the argument. Why don't you get your shit and get the fuck out of my house since you got somewhere to go? You see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. And we should also consider when the Bible was written, because no, wait. I'm still coming back to that. Wait. Yeah. Because when you refer to the Bible, right, you say that it gives you wisdom and stuff. But in this society that we live in now, things are quite different. Because, okay, for example, if shit happens to you, for example, you lose your job and I'm working, that means that we can sustain our lifestyle, because now we don't have to struggle, because I have what it takes to make things happen for our home to what? to continue the way we were. Like our lifestyle doesn't have to change. So it's not about me being independent because I want to have an option that one day I'm going to leave this guy and start my life. Or when we argue, I'm like, okay, I'm taking my bags and I'm leaving. I'm going to my apartment or my house. But it has to do with we helping one another. Do you understand what I'm saying? As much as it's my money, yes, I'm working. But if things had to happen that you lose your job or something bad happens to you, get into a car accident, then we can sustain life. We don't have to now struggle and think, who's going to pay for the mortgage this month? Do you understand what I mean? As much as you're the one that's going to be providing for things.
There's two things going on there, though.
Yeah.
Two things. Number one, wisdom doesn't have an expiration date. That's why it's wisdom. That's why it's respected and valued as such, because it's timeless. Doesn't matter when the Bible was written or any other source of good wisdom, because it applies in all time frames, right? It's the same thing as a saying. It's better to have and not need than need and not have. It doesn't matter what generation we're in. That saying still applies.
But
right?
do we still do the same things that were written in the Bible?
I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say.
I understand the wisdom
the
part.
way the Bible is written, it's amazing that it doesn't have to, it has nothing to do with those circumstances. The information, the advice, and the knowledge that's given applies to all times, all people. When it talks about men and women and their relationship, it doesn't matter what time frame it's in. It all still holds true. When it says that a man needs to love his wife and a woman needs to respect her husband, wow, it doesn't matter what time frame that's in.
True.
It still applies because it deals with the nature of men and women, not the situation of men and women that they're in, not what country they live in or what economy they're in.
Finances,
right. So it doesn't matter. The same way I was talking about burning the boats, it doesn't matter if we're not actually going to war. The point is I remove the option of failure and I remove the option of giving up. It's like, I don't have a choice. I got to make this work. I got to make this happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Things sometimes don't go according to how we plan.
Hold on. And I understand that. But this is why we have contingency plans. And this is why we're able to call audibles and adapt, right? Which is where I'm going next. Because you're talking about changing the whole dynamics of the relationship on the what if. That's a what if he loses his job and can't apply. Whoa. You don't change the whole dynamic of a relationship for something that has a 10% or less probability of happening. That would be ridiculous. The next thing is you said, I know it's my money. Whoa, stop. Hey, whoa. That's not what marriage is. In marriage, the money is the family's money. It's not the wife has her money and the husband has his money. That right there is an issue because that means there's a distrust there and there's a lack of what I mentioned coming from the Bible. The woman left her mother and father. The man left his mother and father, and they became one flesh. That means your shit's my shit's your shit. Because we're the same person. That's why we share the same last name. We represent the same. So teaching our daughters that there was a time when women couldn't vote, that's problematic. It's disingenuous. What it was is that the man put in the vote for his household. It's not that the woman didn't have any say-so. It's that they represented one person. Because they're married, you represent one person.
So are you disputing the fact that a person, a woman, a lady, a young lady or a woman shouldn't be independent? She shouldn't be. So are you?
That's a fallacy, though.
It's a fallacy.
It is a fallacy, and that's why women still look for men that provide. They still look for men that protect. They still look for men that lead. They still look for all those same qualities when they're strong and independent. Make it make sense.
Guys, we need to survive. At the end of the day, we need to survive. So there's certain things that we have to do to survive.
Hold on. Listen to what I'm trying to say. Imagine me saying, I don't need to eat. I don't need food. It's like, okay, well, how do you sustain yourself? It's fine, man. I just take these vitamins and I take these supplements. I don't need actual food. Okay, that's disingenuous by definition because you still need to supplement it, which means you're not independent of food, my dude. So a woman saying I'm independent, it's a prideful nonsenseness. And even if we were to go play with the Bible again, that stuff is mentioned. That's literally the story of Adam and Eve. The devil came in and put some pride in her head. And she got to thinking, I don't got to listen to Adam.
I think the topic of the Bible is very complex because a person would say, okay, the Quran says. So, but you say that it's the...
I'm talking about the analogies that are involved. The allegories, they still apply. What it's trying to say is the same thing that corrupted women back then is literally the same thing that corrupts women today. It's the knowledge of what other people are doing. That bitten apple, that's your Apple iPhone showing you what's going on in other people's relationships. And it's changing how you feel about your relationship. When you should have never had that knowledge to begin with. You got no business knowing what's going on in other people's relationships and comparing it. That's that forbidding knowledge that they're talking about. You being prideful and thinking, I don't got to listen to Adam. Meanwhile, Adam is accepting that I got to listen to God. And God is saying, hey, dude, it's your responsibility to keep your woman in line. So when the devil gets in your head and gets to telling you, yo, they just don't want you doing your thing, girl. They hating on you, yo. They trying to control you. You could be powerful like them. You could be all-knowing like them.
I think that if men were doing the right thing, we wouldn't be striving to be independent.
I'm not saying... See,
but I'm just saying, no,
hold on, that's
saying,
a straw man argument.
No.
I'm not saying men are doing the right thing.
Yeah, you understand what
I'm saying? We're being misled.
Yes.
We're being misled. Telling women that they're strong and independent, it is deceptive. It's not real.
And then how do we change
that?
And
we know it's not. Hold on. We know it's not real because when you give a woman all this quote unquote independence, it does not change her desires. She still wants a man, and she still wants that man to provide, lead, outwork her, outperform her, outlead her, outprovide her. What's going on? If I give you a job right now where you're making, what is your currency? What is considered good earning here per year? In America, it's 100 grand, 6 figures, blah, blah, blah. Huh?
Good, good earning. No, that's standard. I don't want to say it's good.
100K?
Wait, a year or a month?
Well, money's different.
Okay, you mean like good earning is 100? Yeah, 100K a month.
But 100K for us is more than what 100K is for you.
That's divided by 18. I mean, times
17.
Yeah.
All right. So okay.
17.
Okay. So 170,000. Can we do that? Okay. Yeah. So let's say I give you a job making 170,000 a year.
Ooh, that's a lot.
Okay.
Let's just say 100.
Hold on. That does not change your desire for a man that's productive, ambitious, and successful. In fact, it increases it. Now you're like, yo, this nigga got to make more than that. Meanwhile, if you were unemployed, that'd be more than enough for you. So right there, that lets you know that your false sense of independence is bullshit. It's not real. You're wired to be dependent on a man. And when you can depend on that man, you feel loved. You feel safe. You feel whole. So my point is, why waste the time telling yourself and other people that I'm strong and independent when it's nonsense? And the irony of it is it actually pushes away what you want, which is a man that's going to provide for you that you can count on. That's repellent to him.
Okay.
The moment he hears that, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to do something for somebody who's literally telling me they're not going to appreciate it because they could do it for themselves. Imagine me taking my nieces and nephews out, be like, yo, I haven't seen you in a while, let's go shopping. Uncle, I could buy that for myself. I'm like, yo, little nigga, you know what? Go ahead, buy it for yourself.
Yeah.
Because I lose any value in that now because I don't feel like a loving uncle that's spoiling my niece and nephew now because I don't feel like they're going to even care. They're not going to remember this a month from now. So that attitude of I don't need you, it pushes away the man you need. So what I'm saying is stop fronting, girl. Stop fronting.
No, I'm not. What I'm trying to say is that, yes, of course, every woman wants a man that can provide. But
wants or needs?
Needs,
okay,
whatever.
Good,
it depends what you want
good,
in life.
Good.
People just want different things. Yeah, so we don't want the same things.
Wait. Want or need? Want or need?
I don't think a man is a need.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say?
I'm
because what
I'm
is
not
the
with
need?
you guys on this one.
No.
I'm not.
No, I think
I
it
know they are my bread
depends.
and my butter.
Yes, it
I
does
love me a
depends.
man.
It depends, but
It depends.
I don't
On
think
what,
we
ladies?
should
If you are a nun, you don't need a man.
Yeah, but then now you're going religious.
No,
which
I'm
is something that
joking.
you stepped away from. No,
But
we
if
need
you
men to
okay, if
survive.
those
This is
days
nature.
we are preaching 50-50 whatsoever. So if we're doing 50-50, there's really no need.
Okay,
But
hold on.
50-50 thing.
Hold on. Let's ask this question.
I think it was because of the way how women were treated.
Okay.
That's why.
Whoa. Were you there? No. I find this very interesting when women speak about how women used to be treated, but they weren't there. So where do you get the information? Hold on, but where do you get the information that convinces you that somehow women were oppressed? They were these second-class citizens.
But why
their
would
lives
they
were
fight?
slavery. Marriage was miserable. Where are you getting this credible information from?
Okay, wait. Why would they fight against being oppressed if they were not
Whoa.
being?
Hold on, time out. Let's address that. Who said that women were fighting against being oppressed by men? Who said that?
Not really oppressed, but they also wanted to
They were
have
not
the
given
equality.
equal-
Whoa, time out. But who said that? Who said these? Which women?
In books, it's written.
In books?
Yes.
Okay, let's unpack that. Books written by who?
I'm not equal to a man.
Wait.
Books written by who?
Okay, there's this thing we learned. I'm trying
Learned.
to find, yes. I
Okay.
learned it in
Doesn't mean it
I
happened. It
learned-
means it was taught to you. Continue.
Yes, it was taught by me, and it
Okay.
was South African. It was a South African. That's why we have Women Day on the
Yes,
9th of August.
Mhm.
It happened in. Oh my word! I
So
don't
so why isn't
remember.
there a man's day?
I
I
don't
don't
think
know.
men when they
I'm
on
talking
that day.
about
when
women.
it's
I'm just
Hold on.
talking about what
Hold
was
on.
written.
Hold on. I
So
want
these
hold on,
women
hold on,
were
hold on, hold on.
protesting.
I want to ask you, why do you think someone took it upon themselves to have an agenda that there should be a woman's day? But why hasn't there ever been a man's day?
The reason why this happened.
Just
Oh,
answer
okay.
that question. Why do you think whoever decided that we
didn't-
should have a woman's day, you don't think they might have been a hidden agenda there as to why they would be a woman's day but not a man's
because
day?
It
they
was
were
a
tired of
march.
this thing of like this myth by women belong in the kitchen, women must give birth. So because of that, women were mostly suppressed. They have to be in the house. They do not have to work. If you need something, you have to ask from a man. So it was more like giving them an opportunity that if you want this, you can get it yourself. You do not have to wait for a man to approve you or to.
Okay, let's
I have a question.
go ahead. Okay.
And where has that taken us?
No. Before you go to where you're taking us, I want hold on. Hold on. Back it up. Back it up, because I want things to make sense.
Yes.
Okay, I think people are far too accepting of narratives that they were given without using their own independent thought to try to figure out why things might have been a certain way. Let's first accept that white people in general did not have the power or the wealth to enslave Black people. But yet it's given to us as if white people enslaved us, all white people were slave owners and holders. That's impossible. Use your deductive reasoning. Who had slaves? People that owned plantations. Who owned plantations? Wealthy people. What percentage of the population had the wealth or the land to have a plantation in the first place? Less than 5% in most countries. So how could this be a white versus Black thing when less than 10% of the population could even afford slaves, let alone have a use for them? These people couldn't even feed their own families. This is why they were migrating to other parts of the world in the first place, looking for jobs and opportunity and prosperity. So they couldn't feed their own children. They couldn't afford dogs or cats or pets. What makes you think they could afford another human being to enslave? And what work would that human being be doing that was profitable? With no tobacco plantation, no sugarcane plantation, no cotton plantation. But we're taught to hate white people as if they all enslaved us and all profited from slavery. Hold on, which is actually the opposite. Because if they're coming somewhere looking for work and that place has legal free labor, how could they get work? When there's a free labor market, they can't compete with that. Nobody's going to pay you to do work when they own slaves. So it doesn't even make sense. Now, you're saying that men were oppressing women in this time frame. Whoa. What power did the average man have to oppress another human being? That's the first question. The second question is, did it ever occur to you that women weren't stuck in the house or had to work in the house? That's where they were most useful and valuable because the men were doing work like, I don't know, digging ditches, building bridges, building infrastructure. Hold on. Dying on the job. Working 10 hours, hard labor. Hold on. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So to say that women were oppressed in this time frame is laughable when you actually understand the time frame. The men were working jobs where their life expectancy was like 30 something years old. These men were dying because of the type of work that they were doing. Men are built physically different than women. We're stronger. We have denser bones. We can work longer and harder. So women couldn't even do that type of work. So what are you suggesting? That women did no work whatsoever? They sat at home and fanned themselves with a leaf because no AC existed? Because men had to build and develop that technology? So my point is that not only were women doing the work that was accessible to them, they were doing the work that wasn't going to kill them and break their bones.
True.
It was a division of labor. Hold on, I want you to understand this because I hate when people say this because not only is it not right, but it breeds a contention between us. It has the genders fighting each other over things that aren't even true. Men were not oppressing women. Both men and women were oppressed by the environment and by the government. And there was a division of labor. And if we're being real and honest, the women were doing the softer of that division of labor. And men went ahead and continued to build technology that further alleviated that. They no longer had to wash clothes by hand. They no longer had to hang them out to dry on a line. And it freed women up to enter the workplace. So it is not that men, all of a sudden, the average man stopped oppressing women and saying, you stay your ass in the kitchen. You stay your ass in the kitchen. That's not what happened. What happened was we started creating a society and an infrastructure and technology that allowed women to go out and also earn. So men shouldn't be resented for that. They should be applauded for that. We are the ones that give women the opportunity. Our forefathers gave women the opportunity to enter the workforce by building technology that allowed them to leave the house, not deciding all of a sudden, you know what, we about to stop oppressing y'all because some women marched up and down. We were told that. Go ahead.
I don't know in other countries, but
this
mostly
is
in
South Africa.
like let me say African countries.
No, can you relate to what he's saying?
Allowed to like
I can't
say
I don't know what he's saying.
We started from a young age. A girl's not allowed to go to school. It's only a guy that has to go to school. So
I love it.
That's how they started to fight for that, so that it doesn't have to be like a girl child is entitled to like having to go get married. She has to get an opportunity of her going to school, and then it has to be her decision in whether she wants to work or she wants to be in marriage. But most men didn't like that because there was a man who felt like overpowered when a man, because they say a woman doesn't have to have a voice. So that is what they were fighting about most.
Okay, now can I challenge that narrative? Can I challenge that narrative?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, now again, I can correlate this with the whole racism and slavery thing. The average white person did not have the power or the authority to legalize or ban slavery. It was a government. Now that government might have happened. Hold on. That government, I'm going there. Just chill for a second. The government might have been comprised of white men. That does not mean that all white men were who decided whether or not black people were slaves. And I already mentioned to you how most white people were actually against slavery because it prevented them from getting paying jobs. Now let's go ahead and associate that with you having this idea that it was men that decided that women couldn't go to school and women couldn't own property and women couldn't drive or whatever else you were told women couldn't do 100 years ago. It was not the average man that made that decision.
Okay, we went through this 25 years ago.
Hold on. So if it was illegal for women to do any of these things, it had nothing to do with your brothers, had nothing to do with your male cousins and male grandfathers and male daddies. They did not decide what you could and couldn't do legally. That was a government that decided that. So you see the game that's being played. It's called divide and conquer. We're being played against each other because we're sitting here over here having this race conflict when it's really the elites up at the top that decide. And they don't decide based on race. They decide based on domination. They want to dominate everyone. Okay? They don't want to dominate you because you're a woman. They want to dominate everyone. So they play you against your own man so they can control both of you because you're not working together to overthrow their power. This is the game. If whites and blacks work together on a civil level as citizens, then the government couldn't control us. But as long as they could separate us into little groups and little pockets, as many times as they could dice it up and chop it up. Let's chop them up male, female, got that. Let's chop them up black and white, got that. Let's chop them up by their religion, got that. Let's chop them up by their sexuality, chop that. Let's chop them up by their political views, got that. How else can we chop them up? Ooh, Android and iPhone, good idea, chop it up.
So are we always going to blame the elite?
What do you mean always blame? That's where it's coming down from.
Okay, I understand that. We all know that, right? In this generation.
Do we? Because we're fighting each other.
Okay, as much as we're fighting each other, but at the end of the day, they don't promote everything that happens in the household.
Are you sure? They control the entertainment. So. That's where we get the ideas from.
Do. I understand that they do. But your family structure is not controlled by them.
Says who?
How your mom, how your dad treats you, how your fathers treated your mother, your grandmothers at home was not because
how can you say that?
Because of the mentality that they had back then that women.
You cannot deprive your child or your wife to go to work.
They not have influence.
Exactly. If you're dictating what jobs men can get, how much they get paid,
so easy to push
they are controlling the family dynamics. In America, when they give welfare, it came with a stipulation. The man can't be in the house. Is that not controlling the dynamics? That's saying we want to help your family, but only if it's a fatherless family. Well, time out. That's the most important thing to the family is to keep the man in the house. If they really wanted to help, they would do things that incentivize people to stay together and to keep fathers in the home. If you want to stimulate any community, all you have to do is give men education, give them access to resources, systems, and employment. Because when you do that, men are naturally going to share those resources. That's what they're going to do. But what do they choose to do? They choose to do the opposite. Ooh, let's empower women. Let's liberate women. Ooh, let's give women scholarships. You know why? Because when you give women stuff, the first thing that comes out their mouth is, I don't need a man. and I don't want one, and I don't want to have kids. So it decentralizes family and marriage and all these kind of things. And when you separate the man and the woman, that means that the division of labor can't happen, meaning a woman stays home and raises these children and nurtures them, and the man goes out and he be an earner and sets the standards and the rules in his house. So now the woman is too busy trying to go out there and earn and support, and all these negative influences are not hitting her children because there's nothing to shield her children from these negative influences. The children are being raised by strangers, not only teachers, but female teachers. Female teachers that can't positively influence young boys because young boys don't give a shit what no woman is talking about, especially one that's not their mother. Young boys listen to who they want to be, and they want to be the men they look up to. You put a nerdy, weak dude to teach some children, they come like, yo, get out my face, nerd. I don't care what this teacher talking about because I don't want to be you. I'm not taking advice from someone I don't want to be. You put a strong, stern black man in a classroom teaching black boys, and they're going to be very attentive, very respectful because they want to be like him. When they grow up, I want to be just like you. That's when they listen. Not when you put some little frail white woman in there to teach black boys. You think they want to hear that? You think they want to hear that? And then when the kid can't pay attention, then they're going to say he got disciplinarian issues. He got behavioral issues. Let's put him on some medications. It's a system. And then when they bring the black mother in and say, hey, your kid got learning issues, she's going to be like, really? What do we do? Well, let's give him this medication, this medication. She's like, if you think it's going to help, the father going to come in and say, he ain't doing nothing that isn't normal. He's not listening to a skinny little white woman. Yeah, that sounds about right.
If you do that this side, there's a word that we use, uzotracha. Uzotracha means that you're going to get a panel beating. We do not understand what is that here.
Yeah, children supposed to get beat.
Like if your child, if my mom had to understand, if a teacher had to say that I have a learning disability, my mom would slap her. She's like, no, she's fine. She's okay. We do not believe in that.
Right.
And okay, it is kind of sensible because sometimes you find that the child actually has a problem.
Sometimes.
But in certain cases, in black homes, there's nothing like depression.
Right.
There is nothing like anxiety, and there's nothing like slow learning. Like
but where does that come from though?
We believe that you're bewitched.
These are all symptoms from not having a father in the house.
But in this case. How many people did you grow up with your dad? Do you know that your dad? Do you know your dad?
2-parent household.
Separate?
No, 2-parent household. I come from
same
mom and dad.
Yeah.
So and the stats are very high. This side.
Yeah.
So it's more of you grew up with both parents, a dad and a mom.
As it should be.
As it should be.
Exactly.
So some of the things that you say, obviously, it's because of where you come from.
Of course.
Yes. So certain things we cannot relate.
But hold on.
Do you understand what I mean?
Hold on. Are you sure you can't relate when the main export of America is
but
entertainment?
we're not really.
It is education.
But it's not like we follow you guys as much.
We do.
Really?
We mimic.
Right.
I mean,
where's your internet come from?
I can show you the people that I follow. I can show you the people that I follow. Culturally, I'm talking about culture, babes. Do you twerk in events, family events? No, exactly.
The twerking comes from Africa.
Yes, it does. But in certain ceremonies, you don't just twerk.
This is really simple. What language do you speak? What language?
Zulu.
What language are you speaking right now?
English, because of who am I speaking to?
Is that not colonial
Okay,
influence?
I can speak to you in Zulu, you wouldn't understand.
That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you're denying the influence. That's like me saying I'm Jamaican.
But
America hasn't influenced me at all.
English is not American, it's British.
Did you even listen to what I said? I said that's like me saying that I'm Jamaican and America has not influenced me. That's nonsense. Jamaica is influenced by England. England is the bastard child America is the bastard child of England. So what I'm saying is we have been colonized.
Yes,
to deny it is ridiculous.
I'm not denying it.
So this is where these ideas come from.
Yeah.
This is where these conflicting ideas come from, and we're struggling with the aftermath of it. We're struggling trying to put shit back and make it make sense when we have all of these moving parts. Do you see what I'm saying? That aren't cohesive.
Yeah, because it's going to get worse.
Right.
Especially
so the fact is, there's a debate who leads the household. We're living in confusion.
No, we're not.
Okay, women are saying that out of convenience. They're saying that out of a place of receiving. They're not saying that out of a place of submission. So, for example, if you come to the workplace and you say, hey, who's the boss? Everybody's going to say who the boss is, not because it's convenient to them. They're saying that because that's the motherfucking truth and that's the hierarchy. That's who we have to respect. That's who we have to edit ourselves when we speak. I can't say whatever. I can't criticize, but because he's in charge. When women say, oh, yeah, the man's the leader. Oh, yeah, the man's provider. She's not saying that from a place of submission. She's saying that from a place of, yeah, he better pay all the damn bills. It's a different conversation. It's a different conversation. Now, what I'm saying is before all of this outside influence came into different countries, because I'm traveling, trust me, I'm seeing the Western influence in other countries as much as they're in denial about it. It's there. I was in the Middle East and the women are struggling with their traditions and this modern stuff. They're struggling with it. They're Muslim. They want to wear the hijab sort of kind of, but then they're on Tinder. It's like, sis, you can't half-ass this stuff. You can't be like one toe over here. They conflict. They conflict. These are conflicting ideologies. So that's what I'm saying. To be telling our kids that women couldn't do all of these things, a lot of that is propaganda to get you to despise men, resent men, and have issues. When if you really go back and do your own search or your own research, which 99.9% of people do not do, they don't do their own research. You go back and you look at it, you're like, hold on, chicks have been flying planes since how long? Chicks have been doctors and surgeons for how long? So where is this they couldn't be? It's that they had less of an interest in it and there was less space for it. It wasn't feasible or practical at that time frame for what. Okay, imagine a time when kids wanted to be all kind of things, but they had to work on their family farm. Imagine that. You see what I'm saying? Oh, I want to go over here and be this. I want to be a doctor. I'm a man. I'm a boy and I want to go be a doctor, but I can't because I got to work on my dad's farm. Because if I don't, the whole farm is going to fall apart. There was a time when people had kids not because they were accidents and they didn't have condoms. They had kids because they needed people to go work the field. That's when they were having kids because that were their employees. So if I was to tell a 10-year-old nowadays, hey, how much money you got saved up? And the 10-year-old looking at me like, what is he talking about? Money saved up? Yeah, man, what time you got to go to work? Go to work?
I'm only 10.
It's like in my day, we were working at 7 years old. He would think I'm crazy. I'm nuts. So who's making sense? Me shocked that there's a 10-year-old that's never worked? Or the 10-year-old being like, what are you talking about? Kids been working since 7.
I feel like this world is confused. I don't know what we want.
What I'm saying,
We want to change a system that's been working for us for years.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
The system needs to work.
That's my chat. It's been working for us for years, and now all of a sudden, women have these rights and
new ideas,
feminism, and everything else that comes.
Who is there to witness that it was actually working?
What do you mean? That's how we got here. We got here because it was working.
I'm just saying.
We got here because it was working.
Yes, please do.
Okay, people were staying married for 40, 50, 60 years. It was working.
But were they happy?
Hold on. First of all, I think you put way too much value on happy, and I also think you need to define what happy is. Okay. And I think you also need to tell me, how are the people happier today? I'll listen. So how are the people happier in this system?
I don't know what is happiness. In a marriage, I haven't been married.
Just hold on. Hold on.
Happiness is broad.
Listen, arguments just need to make sense. So if you're saying, hey, women were so oppressed and so miserable before, okay, fine, I'll entertain that. Yeah. But show me the evidence of how they're happier today. And they're not.
Oh, and it's so simple. You're Zulu, right?
Yes.
You know this.
I know.
You know submission. You know dad.
That's why.
Mom. So why are you resisting this?
I'm not resisting it.
New ideas.
But the thing is that the stories that I heard growing up were not nice.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean?
Okay.
And as South Africans, you guys know what is happening in KZN.
But was that?
And it's still happening till date.
But what was that the majority?
And they're trying to change the dynamics.
Was that the majority?
So there's always a pro to something and there's always a con.
When you didn't want to get married, they'll kidnap you and lock you in your room until you accept that man is you're going to marry that man.
Yeah, so is that not an extreme though?
It is very bad.
No, but I'm saying seriously though, is that not an extreme?
So that's how they started this whole thing.
I understand, but is that not an extreme though?
Because if I say I don't want to get married, I run away from home.
Just listen what I'm trying to say. That's an extreme. Going in the direction of that. Okay, so are we not operating on another extreme, which is women not getting married at all, having children out of wedlock by multiple men? Is that not another extreme?
But that's choice. Why are you not?
So what I'm saying is, why would we not focus on trying to be in the middle? Something that actually works. It produces results that are applicable for everyone is what I'm trying to say.
That's a choice, darling.
It's a choice.
You can't be going out there.
You were told to close your legs and you're deciding to open your legs. you should be waiting
There's
for marriage.
There's birth controls.
That's
So you
culture.
getting pregnant,
In our culture,
it's
we
your
know
own.
that
You
we have to wait for
choose.
marriage.
But hold on,
so
but
if you're
hold
already
on,
having
hold on,
sex,
hold on, time
that's
out.
against
Time
your
out,
culture.
but
It's
asking the
your
question in all
choice.
seriousness, does that not get better results though?
What's your choice?
Waiting for marriage, does that not get better results for
does.
women?
It does.
And when we study the results of that, do we
Mhm.
not see, statistically speaking, that women that save themselves to marriage, they have more successful, happy, and fulfilling marriages?
That's very true.
So I'm just saying, make it make sense is all I'm saying. I'm not saying do what works for men or nobody, guys aren't even saying that. That's what women hear. Women hear this me against you, and men are saying, no, you against logic. You against the truth. We're not saying.
They don't like logic.
Yes, it's not about men beating or conquering women. It's about something that works for women or works for both men and women. If I'm arguing and advocating for polygamy, it's not because I'm saying that men should be greedy and want multiple women. First of all, that's what we have now. We have men having multiple women without responsibility. What the fuck? And it's not working for anybody. Polygamy is men being responsible for the women they sleep with and taking them as wives. What are we talking about? Women are complaining that men won't commit to one woman, and you got guys that are advocating that men commit to multiple women. That will solve the problem that women are complaining about. If a woman is complaining about not getting commitment, and we're saying, well, you do know if you accept the concept of polygamy, not only will you get commitment, well, so will your sister wives, and the guy will actually be obligated to stay with you because that's the agreement, that's the culture, is that he marries you. What are we fucking saying? And women are fighting that, yet they're having children out of wedlock with multiple men. It's like, and then they're arguing with the fact that dudes don't want to marry them after that. It's like, hello, you're literally doing what would make you unmarriable, and they're complaining that men don't want to marry you, and men are saying, well, if you allow me to marry you and another woman, then we're all happy. Because now I don't got to cheat, and you get consistent commitment. And I'm just over here scratching my head like, how does this not make sense to everybody? And I've already been in polygamous relationships and been like, I'd rather just have one chick because it's less of a headache. It's less stress. It's less responsibility. But why are we allowing the dudes that are the most attractive to run through women with no responsibility? That's what we're allowing them to do. We're allowing them to turn women that would be wives to another man into a sex object. What the fuck are we doing? Do you see what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Either you lay with her and you stay with her, or you're creating a problem for everyone else. Because after you have your fun with her, the guys that would have married her now, they don't want to marry her now.
Because you were having that.
And now she has to settle for a less valuable dude now, because that's the only dude that would take her is a dude that can't get nobody else. So now in order to secure marriage, she got to marry a nigga nobody want. Is that not what happened? Is that not what's happening? And that her children got to be raised by some strange person who's not their father, which is going to cause all other kind of conflict. So if she had said, hey, my responsibility is to marry before I carry, that's my responsibility. The man's responsibility is to provide for the woman that he has children with. If we keep to those responsibilities, we will be all right as a community. When everybody does their goddamn job and stop talking about what they should be getting and what more they want, and what they want from somebody else's role. Because that's what that's what feminism is. It's brainwashing women into fighting for the benefits of someone else's position. And now women are complaining that men are princesses now. Men are sassy now. Exactly. So you don't like men expecting the benefits of being a woman. So why the fuck would we want you having the benefits of being a man?
Exactly.
Ooh.
That's the chat. Make it make sense.
Make it make sense. You want me to be masculine, then you be feminine, and we can get along. We can make this work. What?
No.
Listen, let me tell you, listen, when wives aren't available, men stop working hard. Men stop working. When men feel like, yo, no matter what I do, she only gonna go with the dude that's taller and better looking, and he ain't even gonna wife her up anyway. So she just want to be a hoe for these dudes, and these dudes just want to use her up. So I might not even get in the game.
A man's nature is to provide.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
So if you tell him you don't need his money, and you're gonna go off with the dude that ain't providing anyway, what incentive does he have to bust his ass and make more than he normally would? Vagina is very inspiring. But when you know you ain't gonna get the box, what's to inspire to? I'd rather just make enough money to pay my bills and play video games. Leave me alone. And when I need sex, I'll just get porn. Or I'll just get a professional. No, you're laughing, but it's true.
Yeah. For us.
There's no motivation for guys.
To do is accept.
Right, and then women sit there and say, oh, the men are underperforming. They're underperforming because there's no motivation.
Working and grinding and work. How are you going to think about a man
okay, so,
when you're not
so hold on, look.
I'm just saying, it's not like they don't want a provider or a real man. It's the society.
But-
they don't even have means to take care of themselves.
Listen, though, listen.
Because they have to work
Hold
all
on.
the time.
It's not like
and it's because of the system, as you say.
It's not that the men don't want the wife or they don't want the woman. Is that they don't even feel like it's probable. They don't even feel like it's practical, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's not that the women don't want a man. They feel like that's not practical to be able to rely on count on a man. So the women are working. They're motivated to work to be independent, so they don't got to rely on the man. And the men are disincentivized to work hard because they're not going to get the woman anyway.
It's not only about that. It's also just trying to survive as a woman.
But you don't understand what I'm trying to say. Up until recently, and no matter how long you think it's been, it's very, very recent and very, very small in the grand scheme of human history. It's this amount of time since women have had this idea that I can get through life without a man. So for 99.99999% of our existence, women have already known it's my parents to my husband. That's it. It's a jump. I jump from my parents to my husband. And that's how I survive. It's having a husband. Not having a husband in the past was death. So now, hold on. So not having a husband is still death, but it's a slower, more miserable death. So you have all this fun and all this excitement and independence in your 20s and 30s. But once you hit your 40s, you start realizing, I don't want to get up and go to work every day. Like a man. Men are very well still working in their 40s. They retire until their 60s or 70s. But a woman, she don't want to be still working in her 40s, late 40s. So that's when you start realizing, oh shit, I need a man to survive. Yeah. It's too late now. All right. Producer's giving me all kind of sign language. This motherfucker doing a Zulu dance. Oh my God. He's walking like an Egyptian. He's saying, cut that shit. All right. Can you tell these people you can tell them to like, you can tell them to subscribe, and you can tell them to share.
Hey guys, I hope you guys like this video and
subscribe
and share it all over the world.
All the social media platforms.
They have vaginas, so you gotta listen to them. This is the way it goes, bro. This is the way it goes. You gotta do it because they said so.
Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Absolutely.
All right. We're gonna catch you on the next one. I think we're going to Romania. I think we're gonna find some white women for you. We're gonna mix it up. They won't be Western white women. They'll be traditional.
Woke.
Yeah, they won't be woke. Okay. We're out of here. Peace.